Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in open source and permissionless systems. Thanks for supporting the community. Remember why you started.
So thanks for, we actually had scheduled this like I think a month and a couple weeks ago. So I'm so glad that we were able to do this, still catch up, still plan to have this on the books. And there's been a ton of excitement that was recently for some obvious reasons. So we got a lot of community support. We went live actually on Thanksgiving, but we still had a couple of features just to roll out, just to give a better experience. And so we finally decided, okay, we're going to do the partnership with the DeGrants and Hero Gamer. I know Crossfire is working on that, and a whole bunch of other folks. And so we were kind of waiting to do formal announcement. So then we said, okay, let's actually. It's kind of quiet right now, so let's just put out that we're on mainnet. At least let our people in our Zero Authority community, people in Stacks and Bitcoin, at least know. So you could, because we haven't done any formal announcements, but the first 1,000 people that was on our Web 2 platform, and then the first 1,000 people on the Web 3 version, they're going to have like a couple of multipliers for the airdrops. And then if you have a profile and it's verified, and you earn your first collaboration through reputation, we're definitely going to give you some good airdrops as much as possible. So man, it's just been like really crazy. We I know we're going to get into a lot of these things and more. I know some people are still shuffling in. I see. Let's see. I see Resh down there. What's up, brother? I see Leanne join, and then I see Art of. I think Tomas. Art of Tomas. Tomas. We were just connecting today, and I think he's in Australia. He has a show too. So if you guys tune into his show, that's awesome too. So man, lots of good stuff going on, Mr. Wagmi, and love the content that you've been putting out. We've known you for over a year now. We've seen all the content that you've put out, and it's been amazing.
Appreciate that. I'm lucky to be surrounded by so many A players out there. And I'm happy that I found my feet amongst the Stacks community, because I think we're still so early. The best is, ahead of us. And, especially as we run into these constraints around L1, it's only creating the need for everything that people have already been building. So they're 10 steps ahead already. It's going to be able to do a lot of things that couldn't be done before. So a lot of cool stuff. If you guys are, if you'd like, should we go ahead and kind of formally kick it off here, and I can start with a quick introduction?
Yeah, please. Let's kick us off. And I know hodlstx is still driving and probably wants to get home and have a quiet place. But yeah, please kick us off here.
Hey, what's up,
Yeah,
guys? You guys
definitely.
want me to jump first? Or
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick us off here, and we'll jump right into it. So for everyone that's listening to the recording, I'll go ahead and edit out the very beginning so that we start right here at the beginning of the discussion. And for anyone that's hearing me for the first time, this is Mr. Wagmi, and this is Mr. Wagmi Live. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm a big believer in blockchain, specifically Bitcoin, and also the Stacks blockchain. And I think, with these technologies, Bitcoin, most notably, is going to bring a lot of opportunity to people all around the world that never had that opportunity before. And what we do during these discussions is we have like a one-on-one interview type of style discussion. And, we strongly encourage people to go ahead and share out this recording if you could as well. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and start jumping into those questions. Joining us today is the team from Zero Authority. How you guys doing?
Doing great, doing well. It's been a phenomenal year just in the Bitcoin builders ecosystem, and Stacks. Stacks is a Bitcoin layer too. So lots of ups and downs, but there were just plenty of highlights this year. If just looking back. So thanks again for having us, Mr. Wagme. You produce phenomenal content and love the show that you put out, man.
I greatly appreciate that. Typically, Zero and Hodl, the first question I start out with everyone is, feel free to tell us about yourselves. What's your background? Have you been in tech for a long time? Or is this something that's recent? How long you been in this Bitcoin or Stacks communities? Right into it.
Yeah, I'll jump in first. So I found out about Stacks back at the end of the bull run around 2017, 2018. And I saw the reason why I found Stacks was because a lot of the L1s at the time, no one had like any documentation. It was kind of just ICO this, ICO that. And then we saw Munib, and then they had at the time it was the Blockstack Summit, and then Naval was there and Balaji. So Balaji was talking about the pseudonymous economy, and like that kind of sparked the whole idea for Zero Authority, because the way he articulated, we're going to have people in real life with real IDs, and then we're going to have people, and that's including us, who are pseudonyms. And then all other people we're going to have that are completely anonymous. All three of those phases of your ID, you're going to have reputation on each of those. You're going to want to work in some capacity. We work with people across the globe all the time. Like we had a UX designer, she was in Nigeria. We've worked with developers in Nepal. We've worked with people in Australia. We work with people in the States all the time, in Europe and South America. Right, I'll say the vast majority, they don't have a Fiverr account or Upwork account. So like it was just a no-brainer for us to like design a system and be able to have reputation on chain, so people can have this place where they verify their reputation. And so my background by trade, hodlstx and I, we're not full time on Zero Authority. I've done cybersecurity the last 15 years, and I work for a late stage cybersecurity startup that was acquired recently, and then Hodl, I don't know if he can come off mute, but he's a civil engineer and worked on U.S. patents by his day trade, and I think he's a full-time developer at a new company now. But yeah, so I think I see T.O. is here. What's up, brother? Love the Ordinal show. Love what you're doing with Ninja Alerts. It's just high quality stuff. That's Ordinals, right? We'll talk about that at some point too, man. It's just been so cool to see everything, the explosion with Ordinals. So that's my background. That's how I found Stacks. If looking back, I was right about like the thesis about Stacks, right? Stacks is, if it's the Ethereum on Bitcoin, well, the value is going to accrue to the underlying infrastructure and protocol is immense. I thought that was a no-brainer. But then once they had the mainnet in 2021, and now we're coming up to SBTC and Nakamoto, I think the thing I think the most about Stacks is it will fulfill the mission as a Bitcoin layer 2.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me good now, by the way? We're all
Perfect.
All right, cool. So yeah, Zero did a pretty good job on my background. I really am enamored with the idea of, using crypto more for day-to-day people that are wanting to work, earn some extra income, build, grow. And so, if we are going to use it as money, what better form of money is what you want to receive your payment in? And so not only that, your history, what you're capable of, your reputation, all of that is also on chain. So the more information about you that you can put on chain that people can verify, and you can be acquire trust without having to give up everything under the sun to get a credit score or anything like that. I think it's really important that we build out the digital identity and that it allows people to operate pseudonymously, around the world. And, the network that we have of people that use crypto day to day, really, really smart, capable people that are interested in, the innovative side. They're interested in the tail of what technology can do, what you can do with all of this. So one can imagine what all those people are capable of in terms of building, in terms of working with one another. I think you could have a really highly capable kind of network of people, which just seems super exciting.
Definitely. You had mentioned some inspiration from Balaji. Just out of curiosity, have you all read his book, The Network State?
Yeah, I haven't read it cover to cover. It's a little harder with the little ones at home, but I've read most of the main points. And the network, we've seen people trying to launch the network state in different places, and it's going to be a fascinating experiment. And Balaji has been so accurate in his predictions. I think of him as like the modern day Nostradamus almost, where he's been really, really accurate in some of like the tech focused things that he's been putting forward.
Yeah, he puts out a lot of great content. One of the other questions that kind of comes to mind too, as you guys are talking about zero authority, is it just you two that are putting it together, or is there a broader team as well?
Yeah, there's more behind the scenes. So when we started early on, and Stacks still kind of has this kind of, the ethos of Stacks is builders first, developers first, a really smart people first, and then kind of some marketing and hype. We don't have a lot of hype. We don't have a lot of marketing. So when Hado and I partnered together, that was the number one thing we wanted to do. We wanted to promote just a user-owned internet. And then how do we do that? Well, we promote the Arcadicos, the Alex of the world. We would promote writing your blogs on Seigel, so you could own your blog content. You could own your own digital assets, right? You could take loans against your assets. The NFT marketplaces on Stacks too, right? And now we have ordinals. We believe in where Gamma plays a role. We believe that Ninja Alerts plays a role. So we believe the switch to Web3 technologies is underway. And we just wanted to be a part of that. We just wanted to play a small role where we interview founders, interview teams. You were one of our interviews because you were covering a lot of the NFTs, and we encourage people who want to be content creators too. And so that's really how we got our start. And then over time, we saw a lot of people working together, right? We saw people working in Discord, in Telegram groups, on Twitter, and even on Reddit. And so hodlstx and I said, man, there has to be a way where there could be a trustless, decentralized system that's also permissionless. And all of that reputation that you earn, you should be able to own that and make it portable. So wherever you go, right? We believe this gig marketplace is just going to be the first of many. The mission for us is to promote the user-owned internet and have people own their digital assets, including their own tokenized reputation. If like long term, what we want to enable other protocols and teams, not just on Stacks and Bitcoin, but even on Ethereum, Solana, and different L1s, that we would be the Web3 infrastructure. Like, for example, like Higher Vibes, they have like a really cool platform that has Web3 gigs and Web3 work, like full-time and part-time work. We want to allow them to plug into this global network of the Zero Authority marketplace, and for them to either gate based on their token, based on NFTs, based on different communities. We want to allow them to use the underlying infrastructure to do that. So then we have this global liquidity of like talent network across the world, right? You kind of have it siloed where it's in Fiverr, it's in Upwork, it's in Freelancer. We even like thinking a couple years out, we want to allow those Web 2 platforms to plug in something like this too. We kind of see ourselves as almost like this Upwork meets LinkedIn meets a Gumroad, but it's kind of almost like a Web3 infrastructure where you can plug in and earn your reputation. Sorry for the long-winded answer there.
Oh, no, you're good. That gives me a good rundown. So as I'm gathering it, the way to kind of think of Zero Authority, it is a marketplace for talent, to where people are looking for certain types of gigs or jobs. And then on the other side of that, typical type of business transaction is the people that are looking to fulfill a need. They're looking for that talent to do it. And by bringing both parties together, based off of those transactions that are completed, people are going to be able to start accruing reputation and merit and, just kind of, an on-chain track record of how they perform on those various things. Am I gathering that correctly?
That's absolutely right. Go ahead, Hodl.
Yeah. And so in the future, we kind of picture it, your reputation is kind of going to accumulate like a total experience point. So the more you use it, the more you earn, the more you've paid other people to do work. That's going to kind of grow your profile, your kind of reputation points, so to speak. But also, we'll be able to see what categories of work you've been working in. So, say by trade, you're like a developer, but maybe you're getting the itch to try marketing. So you can say, oh, wow, this person's really experienced in development, but they're still learning marketing. And then you can use that data. That's all kind of you can reference it on chain. It's all verifiable. And you can use that to then start helping people understand the pricing. So you can say, okay, this is this person is only kind of slightly experienced in this category. The average that people usually get paid for this kind of work is 100 stacks. Oh, he's really an expert in development. He's Frieger, right? He's like this kind of person. So maybe those people on average get paid more. So it's open to the whole internet. So that over time that data becomes more and more robust and useful. And Fiverr, Upwork, places like this, they don't typically really show all of that stuff. They hide it as internal metrics, or maybe it's not as open of a marketplace as they could be.
One question that comes to mind, and if this hasn't been discussed before, feel free to let me know that that's like a future development item. You mentioned with building that reputation, there could potentially be factors that increase someone's rating, whether that's they work in a certain area of development more than the other, which I totally get. As that type of formula is put together, is that something that like a zero DAO would vote on, or is that certain parties that kind of influence that process? Because I imagine if people are listening, that might be a question that's coming to mind is what are the weights of the way that this thing can grow to build out? Because at the end of the day, if engaging the application, I imagine everyone's goal is to get hired or have a job fulfilled. So how is that going to be compiled?
So there's a couple different things. So there's, I would say, category reputation. So if you're completely new to a category, you're kind of just a newbie level. We also kind of don't think about it in the same way as like a Uber rating, not like a 1 to 5, more like a experience point, almost like a video game where you level up. You just keep growing and level over time as you accumulate more points. But I think it would be good to have more of a buy-in from the community of exactly how we're going to do it. We've talked about what is on chain now is fully satisfied customers. That's going to be a huge part of it. So the amount of fully satisfied customers you have. There's also the volume, so how much you've earned or how much you've spent on the marketplace. I think that will be a contributing factor. Someone that has earned $100,000 on the marketplace is, maybe a little bit, there's a lot of happy customers there compared to $100. And then a third thing is the amount of different people you work with. So if you work with a lot more different people that are satisfied with your work, I think that is also a contributing factor. And stuff like this, it would be good to discuss with the community, because over time, I can see the marketplace becoming more and more robust. Some of these things will likely need to be tweaked from just user experience, what people provide feedback and talk about. So, I believe for people to really kind of like using the reputation, and it's going to be open, so other platforms, other protocols could use it. I think having the community have a good say in it is important.
Thank you for that. Oh, were you gonna say something, Zara?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna pile on what hodlstx said. There's gonna be, when we start, there's gonna be two kinds of reputation. There's the reputation that you earn from collaborating peer to peer, a client to create a relationship, and a client posts a gig they want you to complete, you accept that gig, and then the gig is fulfilled, right? And then so that's on-chain verifiable, and you guys, if you want to see what that looks like, you could see our tweet where we put out a tweet on our site zeroauthority.xyz. When Frieger's profile flashes across, you could click on the view button, or you could go to one of the services he says, like Smart Contract Audit, and you could see that in his reputation, he's completed gig 2. That's one form. Then the other form is just endorsement. Trajan does that, and we've talked to Trajan. I don't know how committed Ragnar is to it, because he also does a lot with the ordinal space too, and he's like really entrenched in Bitcoin culture, which is really good. But I don't know what they're planning to do with Trajan. I know what we want to do is something similar, but it's actually, we're going to take it a step further. And when you like, let's say Resh knows me personally, and he said, man, this guy Zero has done some good work in the community, I want to endorse him. So that's kind of like an on-chain transaction for endorsement. Then we actually want to kind of store the message on-chain. So if you pick up that, like, let's say you want to display that on another platform, someone who made you an endorsement, you get the full message and the title of whatever that is. And it could just be like great community supporter, great community advocate, whatever the title is, and then the full kind of 30 character message, right? And then, because a lot of that, this is the other thing that was like super hard. It took us a while to get this off the ground because a lot of things had to happen in Stacks, right? So building a Web3 native platform today on Stacks is still pretty hard, where we had to do a chain hook implementation. So we're not NFT, we're not a DAO. Well, we have a DAO, but we're not out of the box DAO in that sense. It's not out of the box NFT, and it's not DeFi. Since everyone already has that, they already have NFT contracts, DAO contracts. We're a gig marketplace first contract. So what that contract looks like no one else is doing a contract like that. And then what we have to listen to on the Stacks blockchain and the Bitcoin blockchain is when it goes through our contract, we're listening for that gig ID and the state of that gig ID. So is that gig ID requested? Is it accepted? Is it complete? So like there were like some hurdles that we had to jump past, and it was like a high bar. So the team, like, we have a couple of guys in Nepal. We work with the Stacks DGens, and then Kenny, Mariaverse, they were early to build kind of just like the infrastructure for us. We have Jack Ben Switch he was doing blog articles for Seigel and other people writing content for us. Bitcoin Apostle just wrote a Seigel blog for us. We want to, when we get our DAO contracts up and running and everything, and before we do the airdrop, we're definitely going to, things like this where it's just kind of resharing and promoting user-owned internet through gig marketplace and own your reputation. We want to incentivize that in the community.
Definitely. So just to kind of recap, the things that we've covered, and let me know if I missed any areas. So there's going to be the ability to post gigs. People can then make offers. Based off those interactions, you'll start earning reputation, which, logs back to your profile. And then on the profile itself, what is the type of information that, because I imagine, people are going to want to present, some of their background or some of their focus. What are those things that tie specific attributes back to a profile? Like, hey, my expertise is around smart contracts. My expertise is around NFTs or designing. Because as I've looked at the website, I know there's like a couple different little bubbles. So if you could give people ideas of the type of talent that they can display out there for everyone.
So the concept of profile and identity is you could spend hours on this, right? For what we want to do at a Zero Authority, what we're doing today, I'll just give you the current state. What are we doing today? The way the profile works is you connect your wallet and you authenticate the message. So that means that you can enter your information into your profile on chain and off chain. And so that's the way it works today. When you view someone's profile, we don't have a ton of information on the profile. When you go to edit your own profile, you'll see name, email, Discord, not Telegram. We have the services. You could say what kind of service. If you're not here to work per se or let someone make an offer to you, you could just select general, for example, but at least select one. And so that's the way it works today. And so it's like pretty basic. We'll have your Stacks address, your Bitcoin address. We even have your Nostr pub key. And so we'll probably display all of those things later. That's not the real story, Mr. Wagmi. Here's where it gets really interesting because so we've been working like with Frieger, right? He did our smart contract audit and he was the first gig in the marketplace officially. He started this SIP, and a SIP is a Stacks Improvement Proposal. The SIP is for it's called authentication, and what it is like a universal profile. What we want to do is allow anyone in Stacks and Bitcoin to have a universal profile. So you come to Zero Authority, you go to Gamma, you go to Alex, you go to Arcadico, you set up this universal profile one time, and then when you go to those other platforms, you could decide which attributes are public, private. And so here's the idea, here's a concept. We got rid of the username password, which was really good in Web 2. Web 2 platforms, you have username, password, you fill that in to authenticate. I'm this user, I use this platform, this is my account. Now in Web 3, we have Connect Wallet. So you have your private key, you have access to this wallet, and you say, I'm the person that has access to this wallet, so that means I'm verified. We still kind of have this Web 2 kind of deal where you have to go to this site, enter your profile. You go to that site, enter your profile. We're gonna one of our things we want to do early this year, we want to get rid of that. So you come to Zero Authority, what we're going to have is a full like profile schema. So it's going to be like name, email, Telegram, Discord. You may even be able to enter your address if you really wanted to. But then what you're going to be able to do when you connect, because we're going to try to turn it into a SIP for an authentication standard or universal profile, you'll be able to take that anywhere you go. And then you'll be able to share the information from your profile that you want to share. So like that's like what we're thinking about right now.
Yeah, and
that's very interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say to piggyback on that, I think it would be really cool too, because like, say there's a gaming platform in the future, what someone might have in their gaming platform, how we picture it on Zero Authority is it'll pop open the profile and the user will be able to just go in and deselect or uncheck a box of the different information they would like to show that's relevant for that area. So like, maybe your gaming stats from some gaming platform that's on Stacks, maybe you don't really care if people that you're trying to work with see that. But, maybe there's a bunch of other stuff like, you are in different DAOs, or maybe you're in different positions within DAOs, things like that. Maybe people would really like to see that, or even indications of like, hey, this is something else is like wallet history. So like, oh, wow, this person was an early adopter of Gamma or Arcadico. There's all kinds of additional context that we'll have on chain the more and more people use applications. So,
what's coming to mind for me is like a digital business card. that goes with you wherever you're at. But like you said, it could also expand beyond that because it's more like a profile. And, I got to proudly just display all my battle royales from my days playing video games. So not as much anymore. But I think that's very fascinating because that's true. We go to all these individual websites and we're re-inputting all of this information. So if you could have that traverse, and if there's certain factors that automatically update as well in the background, I think that's going to be a big value add to people. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it because there's so many things that has to happen, but we're, some days hodlstx and I are talking on the weekends, talking late at night, and I tell them all the time, like, this is so weird that here we are, we have these really cool advanced wallets that we can connect to see our data, and then we're still like re-entering name, right? An email or Discord ID. It's like that has to change. And that's one of the things we want to bring to the community. Just like that, this, like, not even like that we want to do this, but we want to encourage people. If you think some things should be changed in the current system, you also have the opportunity to do that. You can also work with us and say, I don't know how to go about this, but I think we should change this thing. And I see Hero Gamer, he's just joined us. So that partnership with DeGrants, we got a grant to start building the gig marketplace back in 2021. And at the time, we got a little bit, but there were more projects and people who had bigger names that got more than us at the time. And we took whatever we got, and we just started hacking away, and over time a lot of those people just disappeared. Even Mr. Wagmi, this, how many people are still around that were here 2 years ago, right? And Resh could definitely attest to this, because I know he was here when I was here around 2020 or 2021.
I would say there's probably about 30%, is kind of what the trickle through was there. But there were some interesting people back in the day. We won't mention the name of the NFT collection that started up, and where they come back and say we never left or something like that.
So
I thought you were going to mention the one, the whales with lasers or whatever that one was.
Oh yeah. Forever enshrined on the chain now.
Oh man. So where we're going, so I honestly, I get more excited about what I call V2. And if you want to know what V2 looks like, go to our website, zeroauthority.xyz, click on the link at the top that says docs, and then on our docs, it has on the far left, it has product roadmap, and then it's called Experiencia Release. And I kind of use the Latin framing there. It's like Novum Initium, a new beginning, because once we have, so for me, the gig marketplace has always been the gateway. It's the gateway to get people to start having and owning their own reputation. We even call it own your own brand. If everyone's their own digital brand, which becomes actually more useful now that we have AI, which we'll probably touch on maybe at the end if we have time. But that becomes like super important. But if you want to know where we're going, like the landing page for us is going to be somewhere where you can, different like Web 2 platforms or different like Web 3, they want to use our underlying infrastructure to launch their own marketplace within their DAO, and it may just be like almost like how they pay people to organize. That's how they're going to probably come to us in the future. I think we're still going to have people who come to us and they'll want to do work and they'll want to build that reputation. They'll want to get endorsements. People who work with each other can say, I know this person, that person is good, or that person is bad. And that's going to be there too, and you'll have the chance to respond to it. It won't be completely removed, but at least you can have a response to it. The other thing, here's why I say the marketplace is a gateway, because if you look at the other, it's called the analytics page. what we're going to achieve is this open global market for different types of services. It's almost like a DeFi liquidity pool where you could see like the talent liquidity pool for smart contract audits or developer services. You'll be able to see that over time and then kind of get an idea where the market is going. We're going to have fixed contracts. We're going to have milestone based contracts, and that's on the gig. It's called gig and agreement page. Then the other one, this is where I really get excited. It's at the bottom. It's the prototype Web3 profile. If you're on your web page, this is where it's almost going to be like a Gumroad. So the full vision of your profile is there's nothing that we actually probably own of information, right? We know your wallet, we know a name, whatever you go by, and we'll probably know more things if we can if someone produces ZK digital identities, zero knowledge proof identities, and we could use that. But the profile on Zero Authority is going to be zeroauthority.xyz / Mr. Wagmi, and that's your profile, almost like a kind of like a link tree, right? And this is where people, they can make you an offer. They can go to your page for whatever learning content you're doing. We also launched Cerulean GPT, which is just a chatbot, right? But it's not that great. But what it will be is because we believe people will come here to learn, grow, then collaborate. And we want to be ready for all type of people. And even if you ask the Cerulean Chat GPT, what kind of wallet should I use? It'll give you some recommendations, right? We're still hodlstx and our other developer, they're training the models now. But this profile, this is going to be linked to your BNS. And if like Mr. Wagmi.btc, if we link it to your zone file, people can go to mrwagmi.btc and they'll see that profile. And then they'll be able to do a lot of things. And then we'll have all of the built-in integrations. So you want to hire a developer and you want to just provision them access to a branch in your testnet. We're going to have that integration. If you want to have some communications with certain people, we actually have communications that we're going to be building out with DeGrants are helping us build that right now. So we're going to have communications where you can work back and forth on our Discord, on Twitter, even Telegram, or even on I can't remember through email, right? So that's what I get excited about, Mr. Wagmi.
Yeah, those are I could see that having a pretty high demand, just for simplicity stakes, and the different ways that this could evolve as well is the image of like a digital business card keeps coming back to mind. Like if I was at a conference, they were all at the new Bitcoin conference, and I'm going up to a booth checking stuff out, and someone's like, hey, let me get your information. Like if there was a way to like very quickly share that profile, it's like, hey, you can find everything that you need right here, brother. So, just to like make it easy. But then again, also when you're on the web, just being able to share that information and then use that into these other applications. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Zero. It's like, the ability for people to have their own profile. Because there's a lot of people that do work right now, whether it's consulting or whatever else. You see, even like a lot of these the people that are in the Bowtide world, they're all, trying to work online, provide an income to, add value. And a lot of those people it revolves around their Substack. But if they had a page that was just dedicated to, a profile, and then you can sit there and click, you can offer straight from the profile. You wouldn't even have to come to our main site. It would be like a tailored made thing just for you, in which people could then use the functionality behind the scenes of what our smart contract's doing and all of that. I think there's a lot of value there. It's whether people are coming there, filtering their audience into it, or whether they're looking for an audience, being accepting of both people. thinking how that works. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the, I think this would help with, which should be the number one goal of every application, in my opinion, is adoption. We take for granted, being tech savvy, most of the people that are here this early in Web3, but any tools or applications that can be built for people that are just getting started or just, that are just not tech savvy, I guess the best way to say it. This would be something like that. That's going to help with adoption, I think, because you're making it simple. Here's this one universal page. You can traverse everywhere with it. Those are the things I think that really grow a community. So kudos there.
Yeah, I just had a friend in town who's not a really big crypto guy or anything. And he was talking about how, he really wants like a video editor to do this side thing that he's interested in doing. And I was telling him a little bit about like, what we built with Zero Authority. And he's like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, yeah, send me a link. I might need to, sign up and check it out. Now, if I would have I've been trying to get this guy to buy stacks and get a freaking Hero wallet for like 3 years now. But the fact that there's a need for him, that he's looking for somebody, and that he might be able to find him on our, on the site, on the platform, on the marketplace, I think that it's a huge draw. And like, if it's not too complicated, it's going to be a little complicated for people that aren't in stacks to download the new wallet and all of that. But, over time, the goal is to reduce all of that friction down. And, our real hope is that it does help adoption a lot. It's how you get people that they have Bitcoin, they have something in their wallet, they're used to that enough, and they're just one step away from trying out things like this, right?
Yep. One other question, just to kind of round out the first topic we covered, the marketplace. Did you say the medium of exchange there between someone posting a gig and someone doing the work, is that would all be on stacks? Is there plans to do Bitcoin as well? Or, yeah.
I can take this one. So, yeah, there's definitely plans to use Bitcoin. There's also plans to use SBTC. So, I believe SBTC will be really easy for us to use. We can just provide that as an option for people once it's live. And then we've also talked with Dan a little bit, Deep Lake folks, and we might even be able to do Bitcoin itself. So something, not even SBTC related as well. So that's kind of on the roadmap. But if it is going to be easy to use SBTC, I keep thinking in my head, like the ultimate project someone could be building right now is like basically a plugin for LN swap, so that on the front end people can just use their Bitcoin and then they have no idea that it gets converted to SBTC and everything else happens. I think that like something like that is probably going to come about. I just don't know how far along anyone would be in the development, but that'd be kind of the cheap and easy way to have Bitcoin really fast. But yeah.
I got a little bit of static on my end. I didn't know someone was getting ready to jump in there.
Are there any questions? Does anyone want to come up and say anything?
Yeah, if we could, Zero, and hold on, I'm going to go ahead and ask one more question, then we can round it out and open it up to the audience. So two last questions that I'd like to ask everybody at the end is, what motivates you to, as founders? And lastly, where can people go to find out more information?
Definitely go to check us out on Twitter, Zero Authority DAO, and then check us out on our site, zeroauthority.xyz. We've been around the community. We believe in Bitcoin layer 2s like stacks and some other consensus layers. we are Bitcoiners, and when I say Bitcoiners, we carry the ethos of permissionless, trustless decentralization. We don't want censorship. We don't believe there should be gatekeepers. Even over time, we don't want to be a gatekeeper to zero authority. We don't want to have to decide on what developments go into making the platform better. We want the community to come to consensus, and that's what we start to build, for good and for worse too. Even if I say, man, that's not what I envisioned for this, but if the community says this is the direction, then I'm gonna jump behind it. So that's just our personal beliefs, but also, you could find us on our own Twitters and please, even on Discord, and please DM me or hodlstx anytime and invite us to any shows. We're never going to be too big, and I hope that our platform keeps growing. I hope that our subscribers and our followers keep growing, but just know that our relationship with Web3 and these decentralized communities, it means the most to us, and we're never going to be too big. There are some teams out there that they feel like they're too big to even, that we've even had on before. Like they don't feel like they should come on because we don't have 100,000 on subscribers on YouTube. But neither here nor there. Just know that if you reach out to me, Hodl, or anyone that represents Zero Authority, we are going to be there, and we're going to show up every time when we can. So just that's our promise to you, to everyone in the ecosystem.
Yeah. So yeah, Zero did a good job there with giving the shout outs of where to find us. I'd say, what motivates me a lot is a little bit of like kind of the idea of the network state. But the thing that really gets me is, for the longest time in human existence, humans more or less kind of worked for themselves. They were very independent. They didn't have this idea of a corporate hierarchy that most people have in today's world. And I think in the future, we had the Industrial Revolution, which kind of centralized people's kind of work, the idea of a career, the idea of kind of doing the same thing for most of your adult life. And I think with the technology we have today, with the capability of some of these tools we have at our disposal, the trend will be is that more and more people are going to be doing interesting different types of work in the future. That this idea that working for a corporation, for a large entity, for kind of being kind of shoehorned into a place for a very long time and doing very similar things, that kind of is going to go to the wayside, and people are going to get to work on more interesting and more different and more innovative things. And I think that is going to be really a lot more interesting for people. And it also allow kind of this open global talent structure to reveal its full capabilities. There's all kinds of people in this world that are probably quite smart that never really get to show it all. So, things like that really motivate me. And I kind of feel like that's kind of the core ethos of why we have crypto to begin with, is to kind of have a nice open economy and see what happens from that. It could get really interesting. So
appreciate that. Well, good deal. Before we open it up to the audience, I just want to say, Zero, Hodl, thank you as always. Everyone, I've been chatting with these guys for the past year. I'm almost wondering if it's been 2 years. And every time we connect, always great information, and I appreciate every second of the discussion. But we'll go ahead and round it out here. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to request the mic, and we can toss it across the virtual space here.
All right,
you got to have a question over there.
I'm fully expecting at least Hero or Resh to say something.
Oh, I got one here. Oh, it's Art of Thomas. Hey there. All right, feel free. I think it's Art of Thomas, or is that correct?
Yes, thank you. That is correct. Yeah, I don't have any specific questions. I just wanted to say that I've been looking at the website now as you guys were speaking. I created my profile, and maybe the question is what can we do, like as content creators and people that are involved in the space, to help you reach more people and get more people using the platform.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Look, one other thing too, I want to be very clear. We do take a fee, so we take 2.5% on every gig. And now over time, one of the things we want to do, and we have to document this somewhere, but hodlstx and I, we remain committed to the ecosystem. Like when we launch like the bounties, for example, we hope that we can take, if we're profitable one day, that we can take a portion of that profit and then also reward people doing bounties and whatever flavors. And we hope that we can establish like creator funds, kind of almost like a Gitcoin, but on Bitcoin and stacks. And even as we branch out too, we want to do that. That's a part of our ethos. Like, I've never dreamt of being rich. I've always dreamt of doing something where people find value in the things that we've created. And I think this is like finally the opportunity that me and HODL and Zero Authority and like Stacks and Bitcoin, all of these communities have together. So I just want to be clear on that. So what you can do today to like just share the good message is on your Twitters, on your socials, just tag us on, if it's on Twitter, tag our name and give us a shout out. If it's on a Discord channel where you're a part of and you see people are trying to work together, please say, hey, have you guys heard about Zero Authority? Even if it's on a bunch of people in Solana or Ethereum, because eventually we'll be there too. But once we get the notification system launch here, new people. So like when you created your profile, Art of Thomas, you'll get like, we'll tag you on Discord and we'll tag you on Twitter. And then like you can, just like reshare and tweet and just let people know that, we now have the chance to own our own reputation, to own our work history, to own our data. That's a powerful moment in history that we all get to be a part of now. And then once we redo the token and launch that, what we plan to do with the token is have some metrics tied to the marketplace, like completed gigs that adds to the burn of a certain token allocation per month or quarter. Once you complete a gig or you help others learn in the platform, then you get emissions for that month or that quarter. And so hodlstx, we've been diligently working on like, what does that look like? How can we make the token with utility and valuable for our community? And then like when you vote on proposals or different people bring proposals forward, how can we incentivize the community and how can we actually use our own token to reward them and build different things on top of the marketplace too? That's kind of how like I see it.
Yeah, I'll say too, it's, feel free to share it around if you know people that are looking to work and all of that. It's as simple as, I always tell Zero, it's like, I don't think it'll be too hard to get people that are looking for work to be done or they're looking to carry out work to actually, give it a try. There's already quite a bit of value add there. But the thing is just to know that a tool like this exists and that it helps, kind of trust minimize the situation and allow for things to be very open and honest. And on top of it, like if you are starting out, all of this what you do today will eventually be tracked in the reputation system we have tomorrow and the work history we have tomorrow. So it is beneficial too if someone is in an area of work where they want a lot of attention. The sooner they get on here and start working and doing these things, that will likely give them a leg up in terms of kind of how many reputation points, how long they've been on the platform, and things like that too.
Yeah, I think sorry if I interrupt, but the reputation system, that's something I'm very very excited about, because one of the problems that I've encountered being a content creator is that every time I join a new community or I go to somewhere that people don't already know me or know my work, I have to start from scratch. And I have to build reputation in that specific community. And then I have to redo that same thing over and over and over. And yeah, if I can carry that with me in a way that it's proven and that people can trust that reputation is real, I see that would be extremely valuable for me.
I really appreciate you just giving us that general advice on your personal experience. That's the thing for something that I've experienced as well, right? You go to different communities and you kind of have to do it piecemeal, where you have some links from this platform, links from that platform, and you can like reference some works you've done, right? And there just has to be a better way to do this stuff, and it should be owned by your wallet too, right? So if Zero Authority, and I hate to say this, but if we cease to exist, your wallet will own those token standards, and you can go connect it to the next platform, right? Because the next, we imagine that there's going to be other platforms. Now, it may not be a gig platform, but it will be just like an NFT or a DAO, and you can move that reputation there. And that's what we're trying to do as well. So, well, yeah, thank you for that statement.
And Hero just popped up too. Hero, feel free to ask away.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I just wanna congratulate you guys on launching. That's pretty cool, and I'll definitely be the first to get all the different grantees on it. Yeah, and actually, I think on the point that you were mentioning about the Gitcoin, it's pretty interesting because through the DeGrants work, I've been delving into that world pretty sort of closely, and yeah, we don't have something like that in Bitcoin world, and so if somebody can create that, it would be great. Yes.
Well, Hira, I wanted to personally thank you, my brother, for taking the deep dive with us. It's not popular to jump into the platform where we don't have everything fully built out, but we have enough where it's trustless, permissionless, and it's on chain. So, and not just you, if a lot of people will listen to this, the whole DeGrants community, there's so many people involved that we're just like all a part of this journey together. And I know hodlstx, we always kind of just look back when we get to these milestones and we think, how cool was that to work with Hero Gamer on this, or how cool that they invited us to this Twitter space. So like, even like this being on this Twitter space to us is like something that is meaningful, because we're still early in the journey, and we hope to grow this marketplace. We hope to earn more revenue to the protocol. We hope to have this open market and open gig market for reputation and being able to own your own data and take that data, make it portable, and bring it to other platforms. We hope to do all those things. And if you guys could just tell people, like, Zero Authority, we're real people that's trying to solve a real problem, and we're actually down to earth. If you could just tell people that, and if they have ideas, and Hero, you give me ideas all the time. We were just talking to you the other day, Mr. Wagmi. Our Discord chat, you and me go back and forth late at night sometimes. So please keep giving us these ideas too, because we also want to do airdrops and reward people too. I'm not saying you're going to make a life-changing amount of money, but it'll be something, and that's better than nothing.
Yeah, Zero, they'll make a life-changing amount of governance is what they'll make. So, no. No, I tell you, we really do appreciate, all the time that people spend and dive into what we're building and can see, not what just is here today, but what will be here tomorrow. Also, I will say too, me and Zero, as we're building this out, we could always use additional hands for certain things. So we tend to think that, we can source some of our talent from the things we need to do through the marketplace as well. So, that's something that, people that are interested in joining, it's like, well, there's at least somebody that might be looking at your profile that could be interested in working with you, and that could be us too. So,
actually, just following from that question, I got a question for you guys. So what talents are you actually sort of missing or in urgent need to develop your platforms?
We want people who consider themselves content creators. If you like to make videos, you like to do podcasts like this, if you like to make, especially if you like to make memes and you want to make some for us and be rewarded, that's great. We need all of that. We need to start getting out the message. Obviously, if you're a developer and you want to contribute, we have some roles for you. If you do UX design, we have some opportunities, but definitely like on the content creation side, to developers, to different talents, to like, even if you have like background in legal work or tokenomics and you've done something in the past and you have some ideas, we need that too. Oh, I see Benaya dropped in. Benaya, actually, he was the one who was our architect behind getting us to even do AI agents. He was probably like the first one in the ecosystem. Him and I met in San Francisco because I was there for work, and he was like, man, we should be using AI agents. And I was like, dude, I don't even know how that works. And now today on the Zero Authority XYZ page, we have Cerulean GPT. So thank you, Benaya. I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. It's Benay.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I know it's been a blur. Benay has been out, overseas working. He's been doing a lot of on the ground, boots on the ground kind of engagement. Teaching people how to do this stuff day in, day out, and huge respects to him. I know he's a tireless worker, so yeah, appreciate all that you do, man.
Well, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and round out our space here tonight, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for hopping on. And as always, Zero and Hodl, give them a follow. And as they mentioned, engage them, ask questions, send them messages, hop on their Discord, and check out the site if you get a chance to. And we greatly appreciate anyone that also shares out this recording. Zero, Hodl, thank you again. It's a pleasure as always.
Thanks so much, Mr. Wagmi. Thanks for everyone who asked great questions, who tuned in. And if you're listening to this on the record, I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, take care, guys. Really appreciate everything.